So, guess what's on my right? Right about there. That's the Ender 3. How's it going, everyone? Jason here from 3D Matter Makers, and this week I was planning on doing a review of the Ender 2, but I got a delivery the other day and it was my Ender 3. So if you really think that I can go a whole week without touching my Ender 3 while I do the Ender 2 review, you're wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a build on the Ender 3, and then we're going to review the upgrades and everything on this printer. And then, you know, do some prints, see what happens. So a few facts about this printer. This is a 220 by 220 by 250 build volume. Now, one thing I did notice when I was going through the assembly is that the build volume on the X and the Y axis are actually measuring out at the plate at 235 by 235. I have not verified the full height on the Z-axis, but just note, if you want to drop glass on here, you're going to need to get 235 by 235 size, not 220 by 220. I'm hopeful that this actually prints at 235 on the X and Y. That'd be awesome. I also wanted to note that I picked this up on a pre-order, and I paid, I believe it was $197 for this, which is almost the same price as the Ender 3, so this is a great deal. I don't know what the price is after pre-order as far as, you know, final release, but I don't think it's going to be that much more. This is still definitely going to be under $300 for sure. Alright, so there we go. That was a fairly simple, straightforward build. I will say that the instructions, while much more detailed than the Ender 2, they still lack more clear detail. There's parts where they're not telling you what screws to use for certain pieces, and just the general, you know, idea of how to assemble things can be a little bit tricky. If you've assembled these before or anything like this, it shouldn't be hard. If you haven't, it's still not going to be that hard. You're just going to have to, like, go through towards the end of the instructions and say, oh, I never use these screws, so it must be these. Just that kind of stuff. But otherwise, typical Creality build. Very straightforward. This is much more robust than I was expecting. The bottom frames are 40-40 extruded aluminum. The top rails to the gantry are 20-40 or 40-20, and the top bar and the bar going across over here that the hot end rides on is 20-20. I don't see many injection molded parts. The limit switch right here is acrylic. Probably eventually replace that. It's just the mount for the limit switch, so not a big deal. All of this seems to be, you know, aluminum. Yeah, it's pretty stout. This is a printed case for the power supply, which is something nice that they've actually done. And it's got the power switch and the plug socket adapter. Looking at the back, it's pretty clean. You're gonna have to do some zip tying because the way this stuff runs underneath here is a little tricky. So you just need to make sure that you have clearances on everything. The power supply is a single connector. It's nice, good wire. It's a nice connector. It's a solid connector. They didn't chintz out on this. Again, this is something you need to make sure is clear. You know, it's not up over here where you're going to pop it with your build plate. So just make sure that's out of the way. I don't see anywhere where I can actually zip tie this down to, so I might just drill a little hole through the aluminum down here so I can zip tie that into place. There is a strain relief built into the heater plate cable. It looks like it'll work. This one has nice big knobs. They've actually pre-tilted this control panel, which is nice because pretty much, well, at least most people tend to, on the Ender 2, tend to reprint the case for the screen and knob because it was flat, horizontal. So having this angled already is really nice. It is exposed over here, which is not a big deal. Again, the instructions aren't clear. There's 4 connectors back here, or 3 connectors back here. You're just going to plug into the third one, EXP3. Other than that, it looks pretty solid. I'm ready to level this off, and let's get a print started, and yeah, let's see what happens. So there you go, that's the Ender 3. It's looking like it's going to be just as great a printer as the Ender 2 was, which is one of my favorite printers actually. It's just got the bigger build volume basically and a more robust frame. And just a few enhancements overall. So I will keep printing this. Of course, we'll come back to this in a month. And of course, we are going to come back and do the Ender 2 review, hopefully next week. So now, real quickly for the giveaway. Last week we did our Dragon Filament War, and we said we were going to give away 5 dragons to 1 lucky winner, and we had a few entries, and I did a randomizer, and the lucky winner was, I'd give you a drum roll but I don't have one. Lucky winner was Facetious Femme. Facetious Femme. You will be getting 5 mini dragons of your choice. You already said which ones you wanted. So if you could, Facetious, get in contact with me. You can contact me on Facebook, or Twitter, or Instagram, or YouTube, obviously. Congratulations to Facetious Femme. Alright, we will catch y'all next week. If you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you want notifications on when the new videos come out pretty much weekly, click the little subscribe button. Make sure you comment below with any tips, suggestions, or ideas for new videos coming out, and we'll be happy to take a look at them and see if we can get them posted for you. Until then, don't forget, it doesn't matter what you're making, as long as you're making matter. I'm Jason, and I'll catch you next week.